Hello everybody, this is Daniel. Basically this video is just want to remind people that the internet is one of the number one resources for drawing pretty much right now. I think pretty much like how things go right now with the schools and how they really don't teach the whole, like, they don't give you the whole grasp of exactly how to learn how to draw from the fundamental perspective and things like that. So this video is just to show you guys some ways where you can make your drawings better and stuff like that. I know I haven't been posting a lot of more traditional drawings and stuff because I've actually been working on it to the point where I don't want to show people right now. I've been doing a lot of studying pretty much with Andrew Loomis and stuff like that. I've been really getting into perspective. I'm starting to think that actually I think that they should teach perspective, kind of like perspective should be the first thing they actually teach you in drawing and stuff like that, because perspective perspective plays in every aspect of our lives. Everything that we look at have some type of perspective in it. So with this said or whatever, I've been really getting into some of the perspective websites, which I lost a lot of my favorites that I have to get back. But I've been going into these websites, learning how to do perspective and stuff. And from there, I'm getting into more of line weight and how light affects every stroke that you put down. Because when you're thinking about value from the light, it has a lot to do with your pencil weight. So this doesn't mean like really teaching people. I'm just letting people know what I've been learning or whatever. In my studio, I've been setting up a lot of drapery and a lot of like organic shapes next to hard edge shapes or whatever. Trying to really get into how to find the edge and how to lose the edge and things like that. Because like everything has an edge, but it's about how soft or how hard the edge is when it comes to pretty much how the light affects your object. Now, one thing that I have been really getting into also is drawing from life, but not in a studio setup. See, there's two ways you can draw from life. You can set up something and stage it or whatever and stuff, but if you really think about it, that's not how we look at things every day. So I encourage people to go outside and draw a lot more. And you will understand a lot more about drawing from life without actually setting up some type of stage with this dynamic light, because we really don't see things like that. Now, I think that um, that you can learn a lot by setting up light, because when you set up light or whatever, it kind of really teach you the fundamentals and things like that, But don't depend on it and stuff like that, because if you want to get really loose and really have that movement and power that's in your images or whatever and stuff, you're going to have to actually do a crap load of gesture drawings outside and all that stuff. Now, I've been reading a lot with this realism versus construction, something that Adam put me on to a long time ago. I kind of skimmed over it and really didn't read the whole thing. This here, just go to Yahoo and type it in, realism versus construction. Then you look for the concept art one. Pretty much, I've been reading a lot of this here about just different ways on how to construct the body, or how to do it from a optical point of view of just finding the light and how the light hits the body. Then you put your contour line down with a lot of measurements and stuff like that. But I'm really into this Russian way of doing things, which they got from pretty much artists like Michelangelo and stuff like that, on actually constructing the body and stuff, knowing about cross contour like up in here, and how it wraps around the muscles and things like that. Now, if you look right here, this is where like the rib cage is coming at and is going down and stuff. But look how the lines are moving against the form, the masses of the muscles and things like that. But if you go down here, because like right up in here is like your horizon line or whatever, then looking down from here, right here on the pelvis bone here, you start to really get into how this line wraps around the masses from here. Notice it's going from this direction instead of this direction, looking upward. So I've been going over a lot of these drawings and stuff, and pretty much I came to this conclusion that I need to study more. You know, not really from a point of actually drawing, but from a point of actually observing. Because I think one of the main things that a lot of us kind of don't realize is that we draw things thinking we understand what we're actually drawing, but we really don't understand. We just assume, you know, because we see things every day, but we don't actually study these things. We see them and it's just a glimpse that passes by, you know, and we really don't think about it or whatever and all that stuff. So I've been getting really into actually studying, you know. It's this website which I don't have in my favorites no more. I have to find it, where you can actually read things from Michelangelo diaries and like Leonardo, like just little things that they will put in their sketches and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm really getting to the point of actually studying drawing. You know, I've been getting into a lot of YouTube videos and stuff. If you look over here, this guy named here, M. Shingo or whatever, some Asian type guy, whatever, he has a lot of step-by-step video. This video here goes into pretty much everything you need to know about how light hits an object and all this stuff. And it goes on and on. And he goes, I mean, it's an 18-minute video that is sped up or whatever, but it really goes into how to actually handle light source and all that stuff. So I encourage you to find all of these YouTube videos and subscribe to them and play them over and over again. I mean, because you can learn a lot, because a lot of these videos shows stroke by stroke and how they handle it and all that stuff, and you can learn a lot from it. I mean, I'm learning more from this than I have ever learned in school. There's this one thing. I'm not sure if you heard of this guy. His name is the Bone Doctor. That's what they call him. He's really into anatomy, but he does this kind of like abstract illusion when he's drawing anatomy and stuff. But one of the things that is so amazing about him is that he draws from his head a lot. You know, the guy that did that huge 9/11 painting or whatever, with the airplanes crashing into the buildings and all of that stuff. He's more of like a Renaissance type artist, where he argues with this guy, which is the Bone Doctor. And this whole form here is so interesting, because the Bone Doctor is letting him know on pretty much, he more depends on like not actually drawing what he see and having some type of imagination and exaggerating when drawing. And the guy that does the post 9/11 painting or whatever, he argues with him about knowing the fundamentals first and stuff, and that he really shouldn't be teaching these things to his students or whatever, and pretty much. And it's like very, I mean, this article is like very like amazing. And pretty much I got some of these websites here where I've been looking at. This here is another amazing website that shows step by steps and stuff like that, on going from the light to the dark and all that stuff. And like this here is an amazing website. There's this other website where Adam was actually featured on it or whatever, where it's like a palette website, and it shows you what artists use to oil paint with and things like that. It's very interesting. Yeah, but this website here has so much, man, right here on just observing. I mean, I'm starting to see that drawing is 50% actually doing it, and the other 50% is studying and observing. Now, I have other websites that I'm a member of called Drawing Tutorials Online, where this guy here is an illustrator. Name is Matthew. His last name is kind of hard to pronounce. I think he's like German or some crap. But this website, he goes on about sketchbook, pencil, paper, what type of paper have texture. He goes into light source, form, value, modeling factors, and all that stuff, angles and measuring, positive and negative, organic shape, form and contour line. He goes on and on and on and on and on. And I've been really picking up on my vocabulary from this guy here and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're drawing stuff and you don't actually know what you're doing and you can't explain it as an artist, I'm starting to see that it's a huge problem. You know what I'm saying? But basically what I'm trying to say is don't draw thinking you know what you're doing. Okay? You need to draw knowing what you're doing. I've been really getting heavily into anatomy and things like that, like really hardcore, because I'm starting to see, you know what I'm saying, why guess when you actually know it's there? You know what I'm saying? You got to have confidence in your stroke, you know, and that's a huge problem. Is a lot of people hesitate and they have those etchy sketch drawings and stuff like that because they don't pay attention to actually how the body is formed, the mass, the volume and stuff, and how the muscles wrap around the bones, and how you can have your lines to go in the shape of the muscles to give it a nice texture and rendering and things like that. So but I'm gonna start posting some of my more of a academic style drawings. I'm still doing digital painting. I'm not going to break away from it, but I'm really trying to study from a fundamental aspect. So this whole thing with realism versus construction. Now, if you see right here with this eye here and how it's constructed, how it goes around here, you see the planes and it's actually broken up and stuff like that. And like a lot of these drawings are like really construction, and that's what I'm trying to go for. I don't want to depend on drawing a model all the time and doing portraits all the time. I want to be able to actually know the human body, know the environment, know how to draw anything from my imagination just by using shape, because drawing is nothing but pretty much lines that turn into shape that is affected by light. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, that's like some of the main things that you need to understand when it comes to drawing, because the light's going to affect the line is going to affect the shape. You know what I'm saying? Then when you go all into color theory, that's just a whole different area. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't have those things down and stuff, that line is affected by the light, which the light is going to affect the mass, the volume, and how things fold. That's why I'm getting really into cross contour and things like that. But like, there's been a big changes in my drawings because I finally understand that there's no shortcuts. You have to get this down. You have to learn this the right way. There's no shortcuts about it, point blank. That's just pretty much all I'm going to say for now. There's going to be a part 2 video that I'm going to put up. Peace.